Sarov is a restricted access town 500 kilometers from Moscow. A special pass is required to get through several lanes of barbed wire. The reason is that since 1946 the nuclear research has been conducted here, and the All-Russian Research Institute for Experimental Physics continues to be the principal employer and therefore continues to support the existence of the entire town. But in the last 2 decades, the town has formed a unique environment that particularly fosters the development of innovative companies. In late 80s, shortly before the Soviet Union cut its nuclear development program, a group of scientists of the Institute for Experimental Physics decided to use their knowledge for civil applications.
5 people joined forces, chipped in 50 rubles, rented a basement, and started applying their skills and nothing else but their skills, not previous developments, to work for the national economy.
Thus, the small company Biner was founded. Alexander Korobka, one of the founders, carefully keeps his first contract. In the 80s, the team created a system of data communication for the institute.
When the director learned that the Federal Nuclear Center paid its employees for this work, Karyuk and I were called to the boss's office, and we expected to get fired. But the accountant's calculations showed that our system had saved 120,000 rubles for the nuclear center, and they had only paid 1,425.
However, Karyuk and Korobka left the nuclear center soon afterwards because they understood that Biner had great commercial prospects. This is how the technologic business started in Sarov.
An advanced technological culture and scientific background is what's needed as the basis for any kind of technological development. With the presence of the best students and a great system foundation, any task or objective can always be achieved.
The Biner team focused on increasing production efficiency. The first contract with the Sarov innovators was established with a company that made compressors for Gazprom.
We didn't try to sell what we had, as many others did at that time. We tried to develop something that the customers needed. One of the most important business trips was to the Revolution engine plant, which is now called Russian Motors. There they produced gas engine compressors. We analyzed the company, and then after 1 month we identified what they needed: microprocessor equipment ensuring optimal operation of gas-electric compressors. And this technology is still being used today.
Over time, Vladimir Karyuk achieved the reputation of a successful businessman, and his acquaintances started coming to him with their ideas. Vladimir decided to use the profit from the contract with the gas corporate group as the start capital for small businesses, which intended to commercialize these ideas. Small businesses are companies with only a few employees and low revenue. Key features of small businesses include mobility, ability to change the business model easily, and being open to new projects.
Innovations, real innovations with competitive advantages, are predominantly achieved by small companies. It's a very good trend when small companies spin out of big institutions such as the nuclear center. These new entities are always more flexible.
Andrei Malkov became the first business partner of Vladimir Karyuk. Andrei established a production company for intraocular eye lenses, which are made of liquid polymer.
The process very much resembles the printing of photographs. Liquid polymer is exposed to lighting in a very specific way, and that is where the lens body is formed.
Such delicate lenses enabled Russian ophthalmologists cure more than 100,000 people from cataract, a disease leading to gradual lenticular opacity and loss of vision acuity. Most of such surgical procedures in Russia used foreign lenses. In Sarov, they say that they produce a competitive product equivalent to their foreign counterparts at 30 to 50% of the cost of the competitors. Additionally, the lenses from Sarov have almost no complications.
Our goods have a high degree of purity, preventing anything from getting into the whites of the eye. That is the key reason why our lenses don't cause secondary cataracts.
This project is not the only one, yet this particular business in Sarov still amazes everyone.
Actually, speaking about innovative business in a restricted access municipality, many federal-level leaders, whether it be the Rosatom Corporation, or the Ministry of Finance, or the Ministry for Economic Development, are also surprised at how a business can exist in a closed town. But it does exist, and you might have heard the numbers. We have 2,000 people working for innovative companies.
Besides many positive aspects of working in a limited access town, such as a large number of highly qualified specialists and nearly a complete absence of crime, there are also some disadvantages.
We live behind barbed wire. It's hard to bring specialists from other companies, plants or institutions. There's almost no access for foreigners. We're in contact with many foreign companies, and it's not easy at all to bring their specialists here.
However, despite all difficulties, the innovation sector had been developing swiftly. Karuk opened one of the first Russian technology parks. The companies gathered by Biner might always seek help of designers or get business advice there. This resulted in the launch of another medical project close by the production facility of intraocular lenses. Women in white coats are packing a kind of liquid bandage consisting of two components. When mixed, they turn into foam, which hardens immediately. Such foam can be applied to an open wound or burn wound. It will heal quickly, no seams or scars. Meanwhile, neighbors on the same street, another business incubator, are testing an electrohydraulic device outdoors. The device can generate explosions equal to the power of 1.5 kilograms of TNT. A series of those impulses can, for example, turn an old, poor-performing oil well into a productive one again. The hydraulic impact will create deep fractures to enable the oil to pass again. Other applications include the cleaning of filters in artesian wells. You can see here what a filter looks like before treatment and now after. The pipe becomes on the inside almost new again.
We've started more than 20 projects, 12 of them successful. Some fail due to technical or scientific reasons, but that's normal. In practice, only 1 out of 10 projects usually survives. Our track record of 12 in 20, it's an extraordinary result in my opinion.
Being one of the Biner founders, Alexander Korovka established his own company.
Initially, we had the wrong business model. We thought that we would invent something subtle and oligarchs would buy it from us. Any of the oligarchs. But after we reached out to everyone, with the exception of Prokhorov, none of them were interested in our developments. When you can buy a gas deposit for $200 million and sell it to Gazprom after 2 years for $2 billion, what innovations do you think they're interested in?
Alexander Korovka went to original VTB venture fund and obtained 80 million for 2 projects. The first one is a production facility for highly pure aluminium oxide. It looks like white powder, but has a large range of applicability. Aluminium oxide can be used for building glasses with high durability, making dental prostheses, creating components for LEDs and solar batteries. The material that is produced in Sarov has only 0.001% of the typical impurities, and therefore the industry highly appreciated it.
What we're doing now is negotiating with Taiwan to supply them with our aluminium. We're also negotiating with Russian plants, such as Monocrystal and Exiton. They're engaged in the growing of leucocepphire.
Initially, Sarov scientists considered aluminium oxide just a byproduct for production of hydrogen fuel. However, cheap hydrogen could not be produced yet, while wastes in the form of the purest aluminium oxide promised good profits.
Some 7 years ago, we tried to get hydrogen from water, because hydrogen energy was the bright future for mankind. We made significant progress to get cheap hydrogen from water with very complicated electrolysis. But we almost ran out of money, and then we decided to shut the project down. One of the production lines produced aluminium oxide as waste. At first, we ignored it. But then we decided that we should produce aluminium oxide instead of hydrogen.
The idea of cheap fuel grew into another project of Biner company, which is establishing methane fuel stations. A liter of high-grade gas costs today in Moscow more than 25 rubles, and a liter of liquefied methane, equivalent to petrol, costs only 3 rubles. The city buses and municipal vehicles in Lyon and Madrid are fueled by methane. This is a promising development in the transport sector, but this progress is impossible in Russia due to the absence of methane stations. There are only 200 for the whole country. Process engineers of Micrometan company have designed compact and cheap gas filling stations which can be installed in any carpool or private parking house.
Our compressor prototype, which is actually an engineering sample, is at the heart of our NVG refueling compressor station. We're going to put these compressors into serial production in 2011. In the technology that we developed, hygroscopic liquid is pulverized through 3 parallel processes: the compression of natural gas, then drying it, and finally the cooling process. This technology really increases energy efficiency and means that the compressed gas can be used as a motor fuel.
Development of businesses is also highly beneficial for local authorities, because the more innovative companies, the more taxes and workplaces.
In the past, all of the taxes that were collected in the town stayed in the local economy. Now those taxes are appropriated for various different budgets. Consequently, the municipal budget, well, it's not very big. Therefore, the more taxpayers we have, the greater the budget allocation we will get.
Очень здорово, что администрация Сарова поддерживает.
It's really great that the Sarov administration maintains good relations, not only with the major player in the field, but with Korobka, as well as with Karyuk. Because the more businessmen we have in the future, the more efficiently the advantages of the nuclear center can be used. Of course, these people are businessmen, and therefore they tend to work for themselves, as they establish their own companies. But in the broader sense, they're also working for the town and for the nuclear center.
The total revenue of innovative companies in the restricted access communities reached in 2009 already 2 billion rubles. This figure is equivalent to the whole Sarov budget. Even for many open cities, those correlations are remarkable. But this is not by accident, it is the result of developing business culture.